Shivnarayan. Today I'm here to talk a little bit about the word ego. What does it mean? And I'm going to be referring to what Prashant Trivedi has to say about this. The way he defines it, he says ego, if you break it up, is E-go, which means energy which is looking for a place to go. But unfortunately, what we have done is we have directed this energy towards impressing others, what others think, and creating a kind of a distorted version of ourselves to others by being dishonest to ourselves, by being untruthful, and by creating a certain lie that this is what we are. We have started to create that image to others just to so-called impress them, which is of no use because impressing anybody is not going to help us in any way. Or the only thing that will help us if we work on our own evolution, because what other people think of us has absolutely no bearing on our own existence. So we need to learn to be truthful, that the ego goes to a higher stage, a level, it goes to a deeper level when this lying and distortion starts to happen with one's own self. We first lie to others, and later on we start to lie to our own selves of who we are, and we start to be dishonest and untruthful with our own selves. And that is when we create a completely distorted version of ourselves, which is so far away from the real person that we are. We need to be open to our vulnerabilities. We need to be fine with that. We need to be honest with that. We need to be truthful towards our own selves. Because if that energy is directed outwards to impress others and to create this distorted version, all we will bring and invite into our lives is more pain, hell, and torture. And that is what happens until we don't give up that false identity that we have created. So Prashant even says that the word ego actually means a false sense of knowing. And how do we dispel that false sense of knowing? He says we need to follow the Ganesh principle, which is to be innocent like a child. Ganesh is always innocent like a child. He has a great learning attitude. He is wise. He's a good listener. He has big ears, and he is devoted to the mother principle, which is Prakriti, Bhudevi, nature. So we need to be like Ganesh. We need to have an attitude like Ganesh, so that we are able to bridge the gap between the distorted version of ourselves, the shadow self that we have created based on our ego, and the real self that we are, who only sometimes we even forget who we are because we have continued to lie for such a long time, and we have not been open to our own vulnerabilities, that lie becomes our reality. And then we wonder as to why are we suffering so much, why are we surrounded by pain, hell, and torture. That's because we are just not letting that ego go. We are just holding on to that distorted version of our own selves. And what we need to do is we need to be honest, we need to be truthful, we need to have the purest intent for our own evolution, and to realize that we need to understand that we have been lying all this while, and we should not be bothered about what others think about us, whether it's parents or anybody else. PT says, he talks about parents, how to understand parents also, that they are other beings who are themselves in their own process of evolution. They may be higher or lower in the process of evolution, because each being has their own cycle. But just because somebody is older than you in age or related to you in a certain manner doesn't make them the right people to advise you. So we need to only listen to a being who is higher and divine, someone like PT. So that will help us let go of the ego and become more grounded and become more connected with our own true selves. And that way we will be able to direct that energy which was used to create a distorted image in others' minds of ourselves, of even create a distorted image in our own minds of our own selves, and to become truthful and divert that energy towards our own evolution. So this is what I would like to share today. Thank you so much for listening. Shiv Narayan. Dhanyavad.